Hi everyone, my name is Tanya and welcome to my blog and YouTube channel. Today I am delighted to be taking part in my friend Rubeena's crafting anniversary blog club, and today I've made a card using Altenew products to celebrate. So I'm using Altenew's cube cover die, and I've die cut it using a piece of cardstock to create a stencil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some paper Artsy grunge paste and scrape it through the die cut panel onto my cardstock. Now it's important to use slightly heavier weight cardstock for this technique because we're going to be putting a lot of wet mediums on top. So it's important to use a card that can hold up. So I'm just scraping through my grunge paste in one direction, and I'm not putting the paste all over the panel, just to get that feathery kind of grungy look. And then I am going to dry my cardstock panel thoroughly. And now what I'm doing is I am taking a mini mister, it's velvet water, and I'm using some brush show pigment powders from Colorcraft. These are absolutely gorgeous. So I've sprinkled some water on, and I am sprinkling the pigment in the middle of my panel on top of that embossed paste. And then I'm dabbing some of it away here and there, and then I'm applying a little more water and dabbing the excess water away with a kitchen towel to get a slightly softer look. And I'm concentrating most of the color in the center of the panel. And now I am again drying the panel thoroughly before proceeding to my next step. Now I'm taking some Gold Rich Ultra High embossing powder, which is just absolutely gorgeous. I am obsessed with using embossing powder, especially the ultra high ones these days. And what I've done is I've just sprinkled the embossing powder on, and I'm heating it from underneath. So in this technique, you don't have to use any embossing ink. And because you're heating the powder from underneath, it's not moving anywhere. So I am making sure to move my heat gun about so that my paper doesn't burn. And I'm flipping it over as well just to make sure that the panel is dried completely. Now, at this point, I decided that it needed a touch of black just to bring the whole thing together. So I'm adding some splatters with some black ink and an old paintbrush that I keep especially for this purpose, just for splatters. Um, and then what I'm doing is I am drying those splatters with my heat tool. And because this is like an acrylic ink, it dries with a little bit of texture, so it doesn't absorb all the way into the paper. Now at this point, I've decided that I've added enough mediums to my panel. So I'm taking a card base, a top folding card, and I am putting my panel on it using some foam tape. And I am sticking that down, and where the paper was a bit wonky, the foam tape is sort of straightening it out. And now I'm using some script word dies, which I've die cut beforehand. So this is the first script words die that Altenew first came out with, and I've die cut it 3 times and I've layered it up. And I like using black underneath because it gives a slight shadowy effect, which helps the die cut stand out. Now I am using some spider net tool, which you can find in the wedding decor section. I got this in our local arts and crafts shop, and I love this stuff because it gives really nice texture without too much bulk, without adding too much bulk. So I am pulling some of that tool and pulling it apart, and I'm using some glue to attach the net tool to my card, and then I'm adding my die cut as well. So at this point I was thinking, oh, it does need something extra. So I heat embossed a sentiment from Altenew's set Crafty Friends with white, super fine, opaque bright white wow embossing powder, and I embossed that on a black cardstock. And at this point, I changed my mind, which I often do, and added some clear wink of Stella. So now I am adding some gems to my cardstock panel. And I don't know if I have commitment issues, but I never really know where to stick them down. Someone said to me you should put them down in odd numbers or in threes. So I try to do that, but it never really seems right to me. But anyway, here's a look at the finished card. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for stopping by, and please visit my blog and find out more about the blog hub. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.